of having what we call fuck you money. It means that you have so much money that you can say fuck you to everything, right? You can buy the yachts and the boats and the cars and the planes and the holiday homes and whatever else you want. If they got $11,000 would completely free them. It would liberate them. They decided to do, with no discussion, they were going to withhold $95. And you could just see how much this affected this family member. So there was stress and fear and worry and anxiety and anger and frustration and all the stuff that comes up. If you can make an extra $210 a week, what can you do? You can turn around and say, fuck you. Fuck you. I'm never having to worry about you ever again. There are some things in your life that you would love to be able to say fuck you to. You'd love to be able to say to your ex-partner, fuck you. You'd love to be able to say to your boss, fuck you. But it means personal power. It means the ability to be able to feel completely self-reliant and personally empowered. Stop selling your peace of mind for pennies on the dollar. You deserve more than that, but you don't get what you deserve, you get what you tolerate. I want to talk about fuck you money, and probably not in the way that you think. For the last 15 years, I've been working with people all over the world. And when you speak to people from different walks of life, you realize that everyone's got their own financial challenges and everyone has financial goals. And I have the pleasure of working with people that want to start their own coaching or consulting or healing businesses and helping them make hundreds of thousands or even millions or tens of millions of dollars. So I get to see a full spectrum of the human experience financially. And there is a concept in finance, in money, in wealth creation of having what we call fuck you money. What does that mean? It means that you have so much money that you can say fuck you to everything, right? You can buy the yachts and the boats and the cars and the planes and the holiday homes and whatever else you want. But I want to talk about fuck you money in a different way today. I had a conversation with a family member just last week, and they were talking about how, as a single mom, they are raising their little boy, and their previous partner pays what we would in Australia call child support, maybe in other parts of the world call it alimony. Effectively, it's a parenting contribution from their spouse. And that number was $210. That's how much money they get every week to help raise their child and to pay for school books and stationery and office supplies and all the stuff. It's coming back to school here in Australia, so that was why it was appropriate. And so $210, that's how much this person pays. And this week, they decided to do just something dirty and dodgy, and they're a bit of a dickhead. And they decided that with no discussion, they were going to withhold $95, 40+% of the child support, the alimony payment this week, because they had to incur some expenses, and they decided it wasn't fair that they should do that and also pay the $210. And you could just see how much this affected this family member, that they were upset about it. They felt angry about it. They felt judgment about it. Of course, if you only have $210 to support a child and someone takes $95 away from you, that's a lot of that money, and that has a huge implication. So there was stress and fear and worry and anxiety and anger and frustration and all the stuff that comes up when you've got a negative relationship with your previous partner. And in my mind, first, as a family member, as a friend, as a loved one, I was like, fuck them. Right? That's bullshit. They shouldn't be able to do that, right? And that's where my head went first. But then I took a step back and I thought about it as a coach. And I thought, wow, okay, what this is saying to me is that this person who I love and care about, the value that they have placed on their mental peace of mind is effectively $210 a week. And that works out at about 11 grand for the year, right? And so that if they got $11,000 would completely free them. It would liberate them. It would allow them to say, fuck you to their ex-partner and never have to worry about that person ever again. For them, fuck you money was $11,000. It's not a yacht or a supercar or a holiday or first class, but $11,000, $210 a week gives them the ability to take a negative relationship and completely release that from their life. And so in my counsel to this member of the family, I said, hey, look, that is a shit situation. That's financial abuse. It's manipulation. It's just a disgusting thing to do, and it's not right. And there should be some consequences, and there might be consequences, there might not be consequences. It's an imperfect system, the family court process. But here's the thing. Long term, this is probably going to continue. This person is probably going to do something like this in the future. And so the only real long-term solution is that you've got to find a way to make an extra $210 a week. Because if you can find a way to make an extra $210 a week, and I didn't say this at the time, but now I'm telling it to you guys, if you can make an extra $210 a week, what can you do? You can turn around and say, fuck you. Fuck you. I'm never having to worry about you ever again. We are done. We share a child together, but I'm not relying on you. I don't need anything from you. Therefore, you have no power over me ever again. And this has been playing in my mind quite a bit over this last week. I mean, thinking about this a lot. I've got a friend of mine who's got two young kids, similar age to my girls, and I know what it's like to raise a young family, and I'm very blessed. We've got great help. We have fantastic wealth and abundance financially, and so I can pay for cleaners and a housekeeper and a nanny. I can do that, and it supports me and my wife. And I was thinking to myself, well, if they were to spend a little bit of the money that they've got or make a little bit of more money, and they could pay a housekeeper or a cleaner or a nanny to come and help, even for a couple hours, just to get some stuff done around the house, that would make a difference. And I actually watched a reel online about having what they call a morning nanny. I never heard of this concept before, but for a couple of $100 a week, I think they'd said it was about $200-300 a week. They pay somebody 2 hours a day, Monday to Friday, to come in the morning and to help get the kids dressed for school, to clean up around the kitchen, to put a pot of coffee on, and to be able to help mom get the house ready for the day. And I was like, you know what? For a couple of $100, that's not a huge amount of money, but it has a huge impact on the quality of life for a family. And so that's a great example of being able to say, fuck you to household chores and messiness of your house. And so I'm sure watching this video, wherever you are in your life financially, there are some things in your life that you would love to be able to say, fuck you to. You'd love to be able to say to your ex-partner, fuck you. You'd love to be able to say to your boss, fuck you. You'd love to be able to say to the credit card companies that keep calling them, the debt collection companies that keep calling, fuck you. You'd love to be able to say to your landlord, right, that you're living in a house and it's a shit, you deserve better than that. You'd love to be able to say, fuck you. I don't know what that is for you, but I would imagine that it's actually not that much money. It's not a huge amount of money. We're not talking about hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars. Now, you may also have a long-term vision to have so much money that you can do whatever you want, whenever you want. But let's not misunderstand that in the short term, the difference of an extra $50, $100, $200, in this case, $210 a week, the difference of that could be unbelievably liberating. Because you're not just being able to say, fuck you, but it means personal power. It means the ability to be able to feel completely self-reliant and personally empowered. It means you have the ability to guard your peace of mind mentally, that no longer are you allowing your peace of mind and your emotions to be hijacked by somebody else that has a little bit of leverage over you financially for a couple of dollars. And you're only as big as your biggest problems, but at some point you either have to do the inner work on that or just make some extra money. And I know that for all of you, if you could get clear on what is your list of things that you would like to never have to ever worry about again and put a dollar figure around that, now you can start working towards making that happen. And for many of you, if you're in our world and ecosystem, what could that look like? Well, you get yourself a coaching client, even just getting started at $100 or $200 a session, one coaching client maybe pays for that, right? If you got yourself, you set up a small container where you're doing a small group coaching program and you got 10 people on board, $300 each, that's $3,000. That might not be enough for you to be able to say fuck you forever, but it gives you a couple of months of fuck you money and it allows you to be able to get started and buy back some of your time. And so I don't know what this is for you, but I assure you that there'll be something in your life that if you could just never have to worry about again, would have a huge positive improvement on the overall quality of your mental health and well-being, and for actually a small amount of money, all things considered. So I want you to take some stock of that. Consider for yourself, what is that number for you? What is that wish list for you? Things that you never have to ever worry about or ever consider ever again. And then start to work towards those things. And really, in many cases, you're a couple of clients away from being able to radically change and transform your life. All you need to then do is go, hey, I'm working towards this goal. Let me put some offers out there. Let me create some value for the people, create enough abundance in the marketplace that I can get a little bit of that for myself. In many cases, you probably have some ideas already that you could do financially, and that would allow you to completely change and transform your life. And maybe you're already spending that money anyway, but you just need to audit your finances and stop spending money on some other things and reallocate those funds elsewhere. I don't know what the circumstance is for you. I'd love to help you. So if you want help to be able to make some more money, live life on your own terms, build a business that makes money and changes the world, hit me up. Let me know in the comments and we'll do our best to be able to help and get you some free resources. But irrespective of that, the principle today is about this. You're only as big as your biggest problems. Stop selling your peace of mind for pennies on the dollar. You deserve more than that, but you don't get what you deserve. You get what you tolerate. So consider What is the $210 version of the fuck you money for you? And let's put a plan in place together to help you make the money to be able to say fuck you to whatever the problems or challenges that you've got, whether that be an ex-partner, a boss, the dishes in the sink, or the stress of having to deal with an elderly parent, whatever that challenge is for you. Let's put a plan in place to be able to make it happen. Let me know what your fuck you number is and what you would spend the money on if you could get the money of your dreams, and let's make something happen together. Good luck and God bless.